Appreciate you guys taking the time, as always, to hear me out. And really, first off, want to thank Bronco Nation for showing out strong today and excited where our team's growing to. So thank you, Bronco Nation. Another shout out to Weston and his family. It was an awesome moment for him to be able to score that first touchdown of the scrimmage. I mean, those are the moments in football that you can't miss. And so he's a part of our team, excited for his family and him to be able to go through that, and our team couldn't wait for those moments. In regards to the game, it was cool to see it go back and forth. Obviously, to start the first quarter, offense had some big-time explosive plays, and then you flip over, our defense had a takeaway, started making plays, making some better tackles, having better leverage, and so it was good back and forth. And at the end of the day, you can see very clearly, this game is about winning your one-on-one matchup. And there were times offensively, we won our one-on-one matchup. That could be O-line versus D-line, protection-wise, could be receiver versus DB, could be running back versus linebacker. The game is about the one-on-one matchups across the board, who wins them, who doesn't. And that's how you win the critical down and distance. So it was awesome to see our guys go back and forth. I'm proud of how our guys competed for the most part, stayed healthy through the game, which is a huge point of emphasis going into summertime and training. And so proud of where we're going. Obviously, it's April 20th. We got a long way to go, a lot of work to be done, but excited where we're at right now.
What do you think of how Malachi performed today, and where has he grown the most this spring?
I think Malachi did some good things. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of things on film from some decisions and some ball placement that we got to continue to work on. But you got to think he's the only guy in that quarterback room that had to learn a completely new offense. And so seeing him go from point A to where he's at right now, obviously still a lot of growth, a lot of development needed on his end, but excited where he's grown to. I mean, he's from where he's at right now in the spring game and what we able to see today, from where he was at practice one, there's been a lot of growth and development. Wasn't perfect today, a lot to clean up, made some big throws. He's done a really good job escaping the pocket, using his feet, but there's still a lot of development that needs to be happening.
What did you think of that throw to Penry?
For the first I thought it was a PI, and then I come back and think it's going to be a pick. So, I mean, I love that we gave Chase a shot. I mean, Chase has had a great spring. You talk about a young man that you always know what you're going to get. He's going to show up, work his tail off. He's also stepped up in a leadership role on our offense because he's very consistent. Guys know they can count on him. He's bringing people with him, and big-time catch there in the end zone.
What do you think about the way the defense responded? Those two early touchdowns. Yeah. Came back, I think, 5 straight 3-and-outs, 5 sacks in the spring game, 7 tackles for a loss.
Yeah. Defensive football, both sides of football, but especially defensively, you can't take points off the board. All right, so there's some things in the first half we got to make sure we clean up from fits and leverages, but very proud how they responded. It's all about how you respond and how you play the next play. And so it was good to see our players start to make the plays that they missed in the first quarter. From takeaways to sacks to winning their one-on-ones, could be in pass coverage, could be in stopping the run, or making these run plays happen. So proud of how the defense responded, proud of how our guys stepped up, and in a spring game like this, everybody plays. That's a huge point of emphasis. I want everybody to have film to where when I meet with everybody this next week, it's very clear. This is where you are. This is where we need to grow you to. From seniors, guys that have been here for a while, to guys that just got on campus a couple months ago. The beautiful thing about football, it's black and white. You are what you put on film, not what you tweet about, not who you want to be. You are who you put on film. So there's a lot of good stuff on either side of the ball, but long-winded answer to your question, very proud of how the defense responded.
Going back to Malachi for a second, now he throws such a pretty deep ball. Why is he so good in that area?
Yeah, very talented arm strength. I mean, in regards to accuracy, deep ball, he can make all the throws. Now it's just growing a lot of the other aspects of playing the quarterback position. In regards to obviously the complete understanding of the offense, he's done a really good job to this point, but there's obviously still steps to go. He's only been in the offense for 4 months to this point. So, but he throws a great ball. He's got a ton of arm talent. Excited for him to continue to develop.
We haven't heard Gabe Hunter's name come up much this spring, and he had that great pick there to start it off.
Yeah.
What's in that play, and just how do you look this spring?
Gabe Hunter's had a really good spring. Missed a couple practices, had a groin that he tweaked in the first scrimmage, I believe it was, BJ. But excited. You talk about a young man that's been here for a while, and we trust Gabe. And it's been cool to see him continue to grow and develop. You track back to 2022. I mean, he made a big-time pick to win the game against Utah State right here on the Blue In game. So he's made these plays for our team, was banged up last season, but really excited to see him healthy and help our team because we need him.
What do you think of Sire Gaines? He got some run today, and it looks real competitive out there, especially with Breezy.
Yeah, I speak very highly of Sire Gaines. I mean, once again, a young man that got here 4 months ago, early enrollee, should still be in high school, and seeing him come out here, work his tail off, from where he was practice one to where he was and how he performed in these scrimmages, not only just the spring game, how he performed in the scrimmage last week. Very excited about Sire Gaines because I know the type of mentality he has because he's proven it to us coaches and his teammates. No one's going to outwork him. his success matters more to him than anybody else. So everybody saw him here in the spring game, he will continue to develop over the summertime, and we're going to count him in a major way. And not only just on offense, he's doing a great job on special teams too. He's going to be starting on a good amount of special teams.
I know it's only April, but has he done enough to show you that he's ready to get time in a game this season?
Yeah, obviously there's still a lot of time to develop. Right now, just like we talked about in the spring, we use a seating chart. There's no, okay, this is the depth chart, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. It's still a seating chart because there's still a lot of development and change that needs to happen. By the time we get to fall camp, now those things will be a little bit more solidified, but even going into fall camp, it's going to be who wants this thing. And I want across the board, on offense, on defense, on all 4 special teams, if I'm a number 2, I am coming for the guy in front of me. I'm going to find a way to outwork him, find a way to take that spot. And if I'm the number 1, I'm trying to be the best in the country. That's what makes everybody better. So to say right now exactly where we see him in regards to the season, there's still a lot of development that needs to happen. But knowing him, I know he's going to take full advantage of it. So we're going to be counting on him in a big time way. But I mean, Breezy had a great spring too. I mean, you talk about a young man that has a second gear. I mean, he could put his foot in the ground. I mean, he's one of the fastest guys on that entire field, if not the fastest. He can put his foot in the ground and go, and he can bang his head on the goalpost if there's any sort of air. So proud of how Breezy had a spring ball too.
You've seen a lot of freshmen in your career. I mean, how much more physically advanced does Sire seem right now as a 17-year-old than most freshmen?
He is. He's very developed for a 17-year-old young man. Like, he's very developed. But that because of who he is, how he works, how he does his nutrition, how he handles himself. That is a product of how hard he works and trains is why he's developed like that. And as a 17-year-old young man, excited to where he's grown to.
Couple more.
Overall, I mean, how do you feel about the spring? Did you leave here after practice 15? How do you feel?
Yeah. I feel we're in a good spot, BJ. Just like anything, we are a long way from being ready to play game 1. But exactly the things that we really wanted to grow in this spring, I feel like we did. The point of emphasis as a staff and talking to our team, the things that we knew when we leave spring, we have to be better in these areas. Excited where we're growing to. And we got a really good idea about our team, where they're at, where we need to grow into, at all positions. And especially, we had some guys that had played and started a lot of games for us that didn't go through spring. So it gave opportunities for some guys to step up and see them. And once again, they got 15 practices of film. So when I sit down with them, we could talk about, hey, this is exactly where you are, this is where we're going to. But the things that we wanted to improve as a team, OD special teams, going even into this spring game, feel good of where we're at and where we're growing to. And I feel like our players know exactly where they're at too. And so as we finish this week, it's going to be giving them clarity. So then in May, June, and July, we know we got to grow and we got to go do it now.
Had the plan for Ashton been to kind of keep him through that wrap-up period, and was it just kind of a precaution when he came up kind of on that touchdown?
Yeah, obviously Ash has played a ton of football for us, and especially at that position, at running back, different than maybe other positions, is the live periods. You just don't know who's going to be jumping on a leg and what it is. So he's had a lot of football. He's played a lot of games. We know what to expect from him, and he's continued to grow and develop. Like I said, he's only a sophomore going into his junior year. But there was a situation going into the game that we knew he was going to play the wrap, and then when it got to live, we were going to move away from him.
Whether it's roster additions or the CFP expanding, it just seems like there's a different energy around this program this year. Not just in the building, but from the fans. Can you guys feel that, and what does that mean to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bronco Nation loves their football team. That's near and dear to my heart. It's near and dear to our players. This place is different. We talk about being built different here. We don't need to find the right 500 football players. We need to find the right ones that fit our place. No different coaches. Hey, this is a different place to coach. There's high expectations here. Every time we take a season, it's not, well, I hope we can have a winning season. The expectations are through the roof, and that's what you love about this place. One of the winningest football teams since the turn of the century. That doesn't just happen, right? That's outworking people. That's finding the right players, the right coaches. So that's a good weight that everybody in this building feels, and we're very excited for the season. But just like everybody around the country when they finish spring ball, I bet you there's not one head coach across the country at the end of spring ball that says, I'm not excited for the football season, right? Everybody is. But at this point, it's just me talking. We got to go put it into action. We got to go put it into practice. And it's how we work from right now till fall camp, how we handle fall camp the right way, getting ready for game 1. So I'm fired up for the buzz. Our players understand what it is. That's why you come to Boise State. You come to Boise State to win championships and play in the NFL. That's why you come here. You come here to be developed. We just got a long way to go, and I'm excited for the path we're on.